คน porno
Where has t-shirts? Do you have t-shirts?
どうして？
気になる。
いや、気にしないよ。porno number 2。But before I go into this video, give this video a like right now. This video is about how to get a Japanese girlfriend, and it's a specific video request from somebody on my Discord server. If you do actually want to join, link is in the description below. And I tell you what, I've been to Japan 2 times. One time, the first time I was there for 3 months, I didn't get no play, right? The second time, I went there for 2 months and I got a girlfriend almost every place I went to. And there are certain things that I had to learn the hard way in order to actually get a Japanese girlfriend. And I'm gonna share with you the top 3 tips to get a Japanese girlfriend. And it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a weenie, whether you are a tough guy, whether you are a cool guy, it doesn't really matter, you know? Japanese is Japanese. And tip number 1, go where the Japanese girls are, right? So the mistake that I used to do is I would go to different places where Japanese girls are, but I never considered that to go to places where Japanese who fit my niche are.
It's the motherfucking motherfucker. You know I'm at the double G. Straight off the fucking streets of CBT. Keep the bitch right to the.
There's 2 types of Japanese girls. The typical Japanese girls that you would, the shy, the cute ones where you have to speak English for them. You know that they usually go with Japanese guys. And there's the gaijinhunters, right? And you want to go to places where the gaijinhunters are. Basically, gaijinhunters are basically girls that basically hunt for foreigners. Gaijin means foreigner, right? So you want to go to where the Japanese girls are the ones that hunt for foreigners. And typical places would be like electronic clubs, hip-hop clubs, different places where there's like a Western influence, right? And for me, the best places would be American military bases because most of them are black, and the Japanese girls that actually go to these areas or move to these areas usually are interested in black people, right? Like, I'll tell you right now, right off the bat, most Japanese girls think that black guys are scary, right? So by you actually going to places where Japanese girls actually are familiar with black people, right, you have like a massive advantage. And they're the ones that I usually like and that I usually go for. So you want to kind of figure out what kind of girls you like, go to the places that those girls are present, and then actually tailor the way you are, the way you look, everything towards that specific niche to have a higher chance, you know? Because if you start trying to get every Japanese girl, then you'll have a problem, right? Like, for example, I couldn't get one of those really shy, really traditional Japanese girls because they never really, you know, like they think black people are scary. Do you know what I'm saying? Tip number 2 is just be cool. Be cool. Back then when I was partying a lot and taking Japanese girls home on a regular basis, after taking them home and actually getting with them, I always asked them one question. I asked them, why did you come home with me? Why do you like foreign guys? And not 80%, not 90%, but 100% of all girls said, because black guys are cool. So in other words, what they're saying is, the most important thing when girls say, oh, you have to look confident in this and that, that's not, confidence is very vague, right? Let me put it in this way. You have to look cool, right? It's a lot easier to look cool than to look confident. And the way you look cool, for example, is by either dressing really well, right? Carrying yourself in a confident body language, and not goofing around all the time and being all this excited and fun, like excited and laughing and making jokes all the time. But just be cool, just be cool, just, you know, lean back, be cool, pretend to be a bit more, you know, like suave, a bit more cool, having more like a cool demeanor about you, you know? And it's a lot easier than you think because you can fake it and people will treat you in a certain way, right? And then it kind of like becomes reality. Let me give you one example. I remember on one of the streams I talked about me having a fight with some Asian dudes in a club, and I knocked all of the 3 guys out, right? And the girl who, before the incident, wouldn't give me the time of the day to talk to me, she kind of blanked me and referred me to her fat friend, right? All of a sudden, after I knocked all the 3 guys out, became really interested in me and really like found excuses to talk to me. Oh, are you okay? And this and that, you know? And I ended up taking her home, you know? And I asked her, did you see the fight? Did you see how I fucked up these guys, right? And she looked at me and she said, yeah, that was pretty sexy. And I was like, okay, right? In her eyes, I looked cool. Not because I started a fight, but I carried myself in a confident manner and actually followed up with that. You know, I kind of like defended myself. I carried myself as a man and I actually defended myself in time of danger, right? And here's the thing, right? In a Western society, the things that most girls think as toxic masculinity is actually pretty attractive to other Japanese girls, to other girls all around the world, right? What I'm trying to tell you is the number one thing is be cool. Being funny helps, but it helps with like less attractive girls kind of thing because they look for other things. But if you're just cool, present yourself like you somebody, then you'll be fine. And the last one, which I want to point out, which is the one that really hurt me, like my success rate early on the first time I went to Japan, was because I was too much of a gentleman. So the thing with Western societies is like we are conditioned to give to like have like a 50-50 relationship, but with Japanese people it's like 100-0 relationship. And that means, in other words, it's like Japanese girls don't have really an opinion. They don't like to give their opinion. They want you to kind of lead and be the man, right? They want to give you all 100% of all responsibility, right? So I'll give you an example in my instance. Every time I would talk to a girl, right, and take her home from the club, there is no real sign of her showing that she likes me. There's no real sign of her showing that she wants to go home with me. They will never show you how much they like you. It's more like they're more polite and reserved. If she doesn't like you, she's polite. If she likes you, she's polite. You know, so it's like, it's very difficult to kind of like pinpoint, right? It's very subtle, you know, very, very subtle. And you can't really, yeah, it's very subtle. So what you have to do is you have to kill the gentleman demeanor.
At this parking lot.
So like, what do you mean? What'd you say? Have you ever had sex in the car park?
No.
Do you want to? Look at this. All right, listen.
Maybe. We never know.
And what I might mean by that is, don't give them a voice. You have to be the decisive one, you know, because they won't make any decisions, right? You talk to a Japanese girl and it's going well and she likes you and it's fun, and you know, use that as a cue to actually, you know, like make a decision and take her somewhere, right? If it's going really well and she's still with you, right? Use that as a cue to say, okay, yes, she's interested in me. She won't really show you any indicator, but the fact that she's talking to you and she's still with you and she has left her friends, that kind of shows you that she's into you, you know, even though she doesn't verbally show it or she doesn't show it with her body language, but it's a thing. Right? Because, and I think the reason for that is because girls don't want to be shamed in Japan. It's such a reserved culture that they don't want to be judged and they don't want to be shamed by other Japanese guys, especially in Okinawa, right? The guys kind of like try to shame girls if they go with a foreign guy, when in reality the Japanese guys themselves can't pull your Japanese girls. And that's what I'm saying, right? You have to be confident and snub the gentleman or gentleman, or I treat you really well kind of like attitude, right? If you talk to a girl and you feel like, okay, it's time and you want to leave, just take her hand and leave. You know, you just take 100% of the responsibility with Japanese girls. Really, really. You have to, and if you want to go on a date with them, you have to set everything. You have to tell them when to meet you, where you will sit, you know, like that kind of stuff, right? If you do everything right until this point, eventually you will determine when to kiss her, when to actually hold her hand, when to take her home, when to open the door, like when to initiate everything, right? And because they won't do anything. And the reason why this one kills me all the time is because I would notice that things are going okay. I would talk to Japanese girls, but I'd think, oh, they're not interested in me. And I would kind of, because they didn't give me any signs or any indication that they're interested, and I would take it as, oh, let's not make a move because I don't want to get rejected. When in reality, they were all for it. You know, with Japanese girls, you have to take 100% of responsibility. I hope this helps. If you really want to know more about this, I've written a blog about why you should date Japanese girls, and it's going a bit more in depth. The link is in the description below. I really hope this helps. Give this video a like if you haven't already, and subscribe. I'll see you Sunday where I post my next video. I'm out.